Before we get into this video, I just have to apologize to every single one of my subscribers, guys. I really took a big L today, and allow me to explain. I actually made a post asking you guys, what do you want to see? More deck profiles, deck profile madness, live duel madness, just getting you guys non-stop, or should we go back to regular schedule? It turned out that you guys wanted deck profile madness. What I didn't do is hit TJ up prior to let him know that, hey, we got to test these decks out. So when I did, he actually had some things coming up. His time is constricted. And I know you guys hate seeing misplays. We hate making those misplays. We try our best to play the deck as much as possible before we start going into deck profiles and live duels. And unfortunately, he doesn't have the time to test all of these decks out. Now, we still are going to be giving you guys the 2 deck profiles, possibly, hopefully, fingers crossed, 2 live duels this week. And we'll go back to normal schedule. But again, doing 2 deck profiles and 4 deck profiles and 2 live duels per week is a little bit hectic. We don't want to make mistakes, and we want to give you guys the best quality. The next reason is just to flat out say it, we don't have access to Savage Strike. I took a really big L, took a huge gamble, and then just didn't come through with it. I don't really have any cards to produce the content that you guys want to see, but we're definitely working on getting some new cards. And for the people that want to help contribute, we are buying cards. Just check down below in the description. It says Rare Hunters, blah, blah, blah. Click on that link and it shows all the cards that we need. We'll buy them from you or trade them from you. But enough of my random link. Let's get right into the video. YCS Chicago was insane, ladies and gentlemen. We saw so many decks fall out of contention, like Altergeist and Sky Striker not in the top cut, or at least not winning the event. And we saw some really sneaky decks winning the event, such as Luna Lights and ABC, all inside of the top cut. One would have to wonder, how did these decks get to the top? But even more importantly, what are some secret tax cards that I can be using against the meta decks to win? And today, I'm going to be showing you guys some secret cards. I'm TheCaliEffect, and if you guys want to see more videos like this, they're going to destroy that subscribe button. But more importantly, go ahead and that notification bell, because, well, we just too strong. I just have to pause for a second. If you guys haven't noticed, I just roll my tongue with that whole thing. I don't even enunciate it correctly. But I also want to give a special thanks to every single one of my Patreons. Without you guys, videos like this would not be possible. Also, a mad shout out to our newest Patreon, Christopher Garcia. Welcome to the clan. Make sure you go ahead and add yourself to that Discord, as well as message me or just so we can get you guys, or get you in the Patreon so you can take advantage of all your rewards. Without further ado, I present to you 5 secret techs inside of this meta. You could be abusing these cards to destroy some meta decks. Coming in hot at number 5 on this list, I swear, I have to read this card so many times because it's just like stupidly busted. And actually, I pulled it up just so I could be able to read it yet again to make sure that I'm not tripping. Cyber's Quantum Dragon is a level 7, 2500 attack monster and 2000 defense. Its effect reads, while you control the Link monster, monsters your opponent controls cannot target monsters you control for attacks except this one. Also, your opponent cannot target monsters you control with card effects except this one. You would think that that would be a really good effect, especially seeing that targeting is running rampant through Infinite Impermanence, Infect Veiler, Dinosaur, Pankratrops, and cards alike. But this card actually has more text to it. It says at the start of the damage step, if this card battles an opponent's monster, you can return that opponent's monster to the hand. Also, this card can make a 2nd attack in a row. So not only do you have a card that says, hey, you can only target me for attacks in battle, it also can make 2 attacks and successfully get rid of an opponent's card without targeting itself. Why isn't Cyber's Quantum Dragon a $20 ultra rare like Borreload Savage Dragon? I don't understand. It's definitely one of those sleeper cards, and the fact that Destrudo is high in the meta, being able to synchro for 7 is important. This card is just really slept on. I really want to include it to the cards that you guys should buy before it goes up, but I have a strong feeling that this card just might shoot up a little bit after this video. Number 4 on this list actually ties in for another video that I'm planning to do. This card is the best hand trap in the format. It is successively taking over, taking the place of Cypher Gear Gamma. Not saying Cypher Gear Gamma is bad, but Jolin Lockeford is just that good. For the people that need a little bit of a reminder, you can activate this card when your opponent draws a card or adds a card from the deck to their hand outside of drawing it. You can discard this card, and for the remainder of the turn, your opponent cannot add cards from their decks to their hands. Now, you guys would probably wonder, why is Jolin Lockeford so powerful now and not before? Well, before, we were in a more lockdown negation type format where your opponent would just summon Rongo and you'd lose the game. Now we're more in an advantage type negation lockdown deck where a lot of decks use their ability to gain resources and then just steamroll the opponent. Why is that so important? A lot of going second decks need to search a lot of cards from their deck to their hand to pop off, and that's where Jolin Lockeford comes in. You put that with the fact that almost every deck wants to play danger. Jolin Lockeford just says, pass your turn so I can OTK you. I really think it's a very powerful, underrated card in this format and is the best hand trap in the game right now, just because of how other decks are playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Number 3 on this list is, I want to say it's one of my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh cards, not only because of its artwork. It has a very balanced effect, and it's just really cool. It helps propel Shadows into one of the tier 1 statuses at one given time, and it's still helping decks combat back row today. Danko Rekha, also known as Danko Rekha back row, is a very powerful card. It can't be special summoned, but while you control this monster on your field and no set spells or trap cards, neither player can set or activate face down spells or trap cards. This card is really good, and the fact that, if you guys notice, rewind just a little bit, all you have to do is control no set spells and trap cards. You can control those floodgates like there can only be one goes and match rivalry of the Warlords. You just can't have them set. So Danko Rekha is actually a really good card for decks that like to have their spells and trap cards face up and you're dealing with back row threats. Now, players are probably wondering, hey, TheCaliEffect, I know it's good against Subterrors, Altergeist, and Sky Strikers, but what about the decks that don't necessarily play back row? Well, Danko Rekha is still really good, and I think Ed Inception, is it out? No, I'm pretty sure it's Ed Inception, said it really good on that deck profile. I really like seeing his Danger or Cuss build, and I have something that I want to do with that a little bit later, but basically, he said that a lot of combo decks want to pop off in the main phase. Take, for example, the new Phantom Knights, or not the new Phantom Knights spell card, but the new Phantom Knights combo that abuses the Phantom Knights rank up spell card. That card can only be activated in the main phase. Well, as soon as we do enter the main phase, as player, you have turn player priority, meaning that you can activate or summon cards before your opponent can respond. That's when you kind of summon Danko Rekha. And then you proceed to pop off when they have that weird looking card, you know, Thanos, without Infinity Stones, so they're in a pretty bad position. This card is also really good against infinite and permanent setup, something that's really popular in today's Yu-Gi-Oh card game. A lot of times players want to set those infinite and permanences if they're going first because it's just a really powerful card. Well, Danko Rekha says hi and then bye to whatever strategy your opponent had to counter you. I really think that Danko Rekha is one of those really good cards, especially with normal summons being less and less useful now. Danko Rekha is almost like a free, hey, you can't counter me while I make my board. It's a very powerful card. Number 2 on this list is one of the reasons why Sky Strikers struggled so hard. Now, you guys could say, TheCaliEffect, you're cheating. This card isn't a hidden meta, but I guess some people really don't know too much about it. Eradicator Epidemic Virus is good, ladies and gentlemen. You can tribute a dark monster with 2,500 or more attack. By the way, there are so many dark monsters that you can be making to fit this criteria, to declare either spells or traps, and then destroy all cards of your opponent's out of the field and in their hand for 3 entire turns. Eradicator Epidemic Virus was actually the counter to spellbooks Dragon Rulers used to summon number 11 Big Eye, and then erad their card to destroy spellbooks in their entirety. Now, the reason why this card is so good is because Sky Strikers are literally just like spellbooks. You tribute a big monster and you ruin their entire hand, so they're in a pretty bad position. But Eradicator Epidemic Virus also has another use against those back row trap heavy decks like Altergeist. You can just tribute it and declare traps and then ruin your opponent. Eradicator Epidemic Virus is literally what Witcher Strike should have been. A really powerful card that not only gets rid of your opponent's board, but then checks 4 cards turns later to get rid of those cards as well. This card can be a complete board wipe against some of the spell and trap heavy decks inside of the format. Look out for Eradicator Epidemic Virus because it's also activatable by Trap Trick, so it's searchable by that. and Lilith. It's kind of scary how searchable this card is. Before we get into number one, there are some honorable mentions in this video. Now, I couldn't list every secret tech into this meta, so I'm gonna need your help. I'm gonna list two more. I'm gonna say Forbidden Chalice and Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit are some really powerful cards in this format. Being able to destroy cards and get rid of the threat through Ghost Ogre and Snow Rabbit, and then Forbidden Chalice is a budget man's infinite impermanence that could be used during the damage step. So it's kind of like not a budget man infinite impermanence. It has its own utility and its great set of uses, but I want you guys to post some secret tech cards down below in the description. Let everybody know, let the community know what we could be running. And as well, if you guys can actually post what discussion video you guys would like to see next, whether it's the cards that will go up in price or it's just something different, let me know. I'll be excited to make a video about it. Number one on this list is so powerful, it doesn't go to just one card. It goes to two cards, ladies and gentlemen. They pretty much do the same thing, but they're built for different decks. Swords of Concealing Light and Book of Eclipse are extremely powerful, mainly because we're moving away from everything making Link U-boards and more towards, hey, Synchro Summoning is being a really big thing. XC Summoning is huge into the metagame, and let me stop you from, doing those things that you want to do. Book of Eclipse allows you to flip all of your opponent's monsters or all monsters on the field face down, and during the end phase of that turn, they all get flipped face up and your opponent draws cards. Now, the reason why this card is so powerful is because while your opponent is attempting to build that big board, you can Book of Eclipse those monsters. They can't be used for Link or Exceed Summon, as well as a Synchro Summon, and then they'll be able to draw cards, but only during their end phase in a hand trap-less format, where some of the top decks have ran 0 hand traps. They won't be able to draw a counter to your play. So Book of Eclipse is extremely powerful because those draw cards that they'll be able to get won't really matter. You'll probably be able to steamroll them the next following turn. Swords of Concealing Light almost does what Book of Eclipse does, except you can only activate it on your turn, but it still can break some really powerful boards. Let's say for example, if your opponent has that Thunder Dragon Colossus on the board or that Thunder Dragon Titan and you need to get over them, well, Swords of Concealing Light actually flips those monsters face down, preventing them from using their effects, and then you can proceed to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Like normal, search whatever you want to, and not be interrupted. Both of these cards are hidden techs, if you ask me, because of their utility to turn off big boards, as well as the ability to prevent your opponent from making a board so you can go for the OTK later on. I think that you probably should be side decking or looking into side decking or main decking these cards inside of your deck. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the Cali Effect. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a like. And if you didn't, let us know down below in the comment section what we could do to be better. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy. I hope you guys are having a great day like I am.